So if you're looking at the critical chart on the let me change this to an ES. So this is the S&P 500. So what we're looking at here is we have this 21% correction down here, and it has pushed nicely to above the 10% correction. So once ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਚੈਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੇ ਇਹ 10% ਤੋਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਇਟਸ turning bullish market. And ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ 9 days straight, now then almost 10 days now, we have the market going to the upside. So green candle basically every single day. And this stayed above the 10% correction. Why? ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਟੈਕਸਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਡੋਨਲਡ ਟਰੰਪ, ਉਹਨੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਰੈਟਰਿਕ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਪੁਸ਼ ਡਾਊਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਨਾਈਸਲੀ ਰਿਕਵਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਅਬਵ 10%. ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਵੀਕ ਤੇ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਡੋਨਲਡ ਟਰੰਪ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਕੀ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਆ. ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨੇ ਓਵਰ ਦ ਵੀਕਐਂਡ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਫਰਾਈਡੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨ US ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸਮ ਸੋਰਟ ਆਫ ਅਗਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਮੇ ਹੈਵ ਕਮ ਔਨ ਦ ਵੀਕਐਂਡ. ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਹਾਲੇ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲੀ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸਵੇਰ ਤੱਕ ਕੁਛ ਬਣੀ ਨਿਊਜ਼. ਦੇਖੋ ਲੈਟਸ ਸੀ ਵਾਟ ਹੈਪਨਸ.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ. ਤੇ ਲਾਸਟ ਵੀਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਜੀ ਜੋ ਡੇਟਾ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਵੀਕ ਕੀ ਡੇਟਾ ਆਉਣਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਜੀ?
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ. ਸੋ ਦਿਸ ਵੀਕ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਲਾਸਟ ਵੀਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਡੇਟਾ ਮਿਲਿਆ, ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ADP ਨੰਬਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੈਨਸਡੇ ਆਏ ਆ. ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਜੋਬਸ ਨੰਬਰ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Tuesday number ਆਇਆ ਸਵੇਰੇ 7.19 billion, which was less than the 7.49 million. So there were less jobs in the US. And if there were less jobs in the US, that was telling us there is the US economy is going to the downside. So that was number one on Tuesday morning. So then we got also on Wednesday, we got the US advanced GDP number in, which was negative 0.3. And that was lower than the forecast, which was supposed to be plus 0.2. So GDP numbers went down, JOLTS numbers went down, and then we had the jobs number come out, or weekly jobs, ADP numbers come out, and they were lower. They were what the numbers were supposed to be. They're supposed to be at roughly almost looking at, sorry, I lost the numbers here. Where's the employment? Sorry, I lost my non-farm. Here it is, 114K. That's what the number is supposed to be. And the number actually came out 62K, half of that number. That also told us the US economy was going to the downside. And that came in at 8:30, 8:15. And then we had also the PCE numbers. PCE numbers came out at almost zero. And they're supposed to come at 0.1, and zero number also told us the US economy was going to the downside. Also, like I said, the GDP number that came out, which is supposed to be at 0.2, which came out at negative 0.3. Everything out on Wednesday, the numbers were to the downside, and basically telling us the US economy is in a bad shape, right? So then we got back to Friday. Friday when we got a non-farm payroll. The number is supposed to be 138K. It came at 177K, which was a strong number to the upside. But 177 is still lower than the previous months, which was 185K. And that was also changed. That number was a lot higher. They changed it to 185K. Okay. And now they changed this number to 177K. That means more jobs were lost in the US. Right? And there was only 177 jobs increase. So that was a negative numbers for the market. And that told us basically the US economy is not doing well. And it looks like the future market may still not be doing well. But meantime, because the number came out, especially on Friday at a little bit higher, it kind of pushed the market higher. But I'll tell you why the market is being pushed higher. If you look at the earnings, we've been looking at the earnings for the last 3 weeks. The earnings have been positive on the stocks, but the guidance has been less. And that's why the market's kind of been hanging to the upside, is because a lot of earnings coming out in the previous 3 weeks have been good, especially starting with the banks. And right now, that's what's keeping the market at a higher level. But tomorrow, we get more negative numbers coming in next week for the microeconomics. Take the market to the downside.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ. ਤੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ SPX ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ, ਕਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਰੈਜ਼ਿਸਟੈਂਸ ਏਰੀਆ ਬਣਦਾ ਜਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਬੁਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੋਰ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਜੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦਾ?
So the market is basically showing bullishness on the earnings right now.
ਜੀ
So if you're going to see in the future, if you're going to see what the earnings going to be like, a couple of things have to happen. One has to China, they have to get this deal done between tariffs. If they get
ਜੀ
that deal done, I think the market will look at as a positive. Market does not like uncertainty. And when you have a market like uncertainty, market likes to go to the downside. So I hope the China deal gets done and other tariffs get settled. And one of the biggest problem right now, where the ports in the U.S. You look at California port, you look at New York port, you're almost between 35 to 40% less stuff coming in. And
ਜੀ
if there's less stuff coming in from China, you could see empty shelves on dollar stores. You could see at Amazon. You could see it, some of the like Walmart and even a Home Depot. You could start seeing empty shelves.
ਜੀ ਤੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੇ ਸ਼ੈਲਵਸ ਐਮਪਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਭਾਜੀ ਐਟ ਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਵਧਣਾ ਤੇ ਇਨਫਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਰ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਫਿਰ
Well, obviously, because if you get less supply and
ਜੀ
the demand is higher, obviously that's going to push the price higher.
ਜੀ
So we need supplies, and if you don't have the supply, yeah, you're going to have to pay more for the items because basically, if you get less in the market, we all going to have to fight for that item, right? And obviously, the stores, Walmart, Dollar General, they all going to raise prices.
ਜੀ, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਮੋਡਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਈਟ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਖਬਰ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਡੀਲ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਡੀ ਨੇ ਬਟ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਇਹ ਡੀਲ ਡਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਭਾਜੀ ਟੈਰਿਫ ਦੇ ਪੌਜ਼ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ 90 ਡੇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟ ਖਬਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਆਊਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦਾ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ
Market's already giving us a reaction.
ਜੀ
I don't think market is waiting for 90 days. They need to settle this. Obviously, Donald Trump needs to get these deals done.
ਜੀ
And if he doesn't get the deals done, the market is basically going to give you a reaction. It's already been giving you that reaction. And it's just going to turn back to the downside. So hopefully these deals, especially with China, it gets done. Otherwise, we could have a supply and demand issue in the U.S., especially for items in dollar store, Walmart.